Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is God of War 2. Kratos is back as the God of War, and he's pretty much had it with his fellow gods. Is this first of a two-parter in God Murder worth playing? God of War 2 was released on PS2, PS3, and PlayStation Vita. If you wish to play it currently, you're going to need a PlayStation Plus Premium subscription so you can stream it to your console of choice. And the game is about 11 to 13 hours long, depending on difficulty you're playing on. So what exactly is God of War 2? Well, it's more God of War 1, a third-person action game with an emphasis on great, free-flowing combat, brutal kills, and absolutely insane action set pieces. Kratos is back and is now the God of War, and he is pissed. Nothing new going on there. He didn't want to be a god, he just wanted to be happy. So he's taking his grumbling out on basically everybody. The rest of the gods of Olympus having enough of his BS interfere, and Zeus himself kills Kratos. While being dragged to the underworld, Gaia, one of the Titans, enlists Kratos to free the Titans and revive the ancient war against Olympus. To do this, he'll need to go to the Sisters of Fate, who live on the Temple of Fate on the Island of Fate. Yeah, imaginative names. To change his, fate, so he can kick Zeus's butt. For those wondering, this is the game where Kratos basically stopped being an actual character and instead an embodiment of rage and murder, which they have since attempted to retcon a bit in both the reboot games and the PSP spin-offs. But even then, it is pretty entertaining to watch Kratos murder not only Greek monsters, but also myths, such as Theseus on his quest to kill Zeus. Combat is basically just a refinement of the first game, in that combos and special moves feel smoother, targeting is better, and everything just looks flashier. You'll get multiple new weapons this time, but usually late enough in the game that you'll ignore them. So if you enjoyed the first game's combat, you will love this one, as it improves on it in almost every way. And all the upcoming games too, spoiler alert, they don't mix it up that much. What is different here is the game's length and scope, as this game is the longest of the franchise pre-reboot, and has some absolutely insane spectacle and set pieces. Now that Kratos is a god, he can do even nuttier stuff and kill bigger things, which usually requires pressing quick time event buttons, which are back, unfortunately. The game has a rather excellent flow and mixture of puzzles, bombastic action set pieces, tons of excellent bosses, and the progression system feels much better and smoother than the first game overall. The game also mixes stuff up with some flying segments and a few other side things that are pretty fun too. It's worth noting that this game looks incredible even today, with the HD version looking more like an early PS3 game than a late PS2 game. Not only is it technically impressive, but artistically as well, with some absolutely fantastic landscapes, enemies, and creative spins on Greek mythology. So yeah, God of War 2 is more God of War, just with less character development and more insanity, violence, and refined combat, which is honestly pretty much all it needed. So what do I like about God of War 2? Well, this game just feels so good to play, particularly the combat. All of my gripes from the first game I feel have been smoothed over in that regard, and with a wider variety of enemies to kill and moves to learn, this game just feels great. Additionally, as mentioned, this game's pacing is pretty much perfect. It leads from one insane set piece to the next, split up with some fantastic puzzle designs and some really incredible environments for you to engage with. If you love Greek mythology, there is so much here to dig into. And lastly, as mentioned, this game still looks quite good, even for an upscaled PS2 game. If for some reason Sony decided to put this game out on the Switch today, I think people would think it looks incredible. When it comes to the bad, as mentioned, the side weapons are basically worthless, as by the time you get them, your change will be so upgraded there's no reason to ever consider them. They also don't feel as good to play, so there's that. Additionally, Kratos as a character is basically devolved into nothing more than the rage murder man, with the story itself and his quest to revenge so paper thin it's almost comical. And lastly, the QTEs, particularly on the final boss, lead to more than a few unfair or unwarranted deaths. The QTE system is already starting to feel a bit tired here. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale. Must play when consider don't bother. I absolutely think God of War 2 is a must play. I'll just be completely transparent. I think this is the best pre-reboot God of War game. Its set pieces are phenomenal, its combat is excellent, the graphics still look really good, and its goofy B-movie story and Kratos' dumb rage all lead to an incredibly entertaining and well-paced experience. God of War 2 is absolutely worth seeking out today, even if you have to use PS Plus streaming to play it. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think of God of War 2? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I remember buying it from GameStop the day it came out and being completely blown away. But regardless, I want to know what you think in the comments, so please let me know, and go out there and make sure you play it.